Got it.
Yeah.
We're recording and everything. Okay, thank you guys for joining us live. And we have Greg Todd here. So a little bit about Greg Todd. He was the very first business coach I've ever had. And he's pretty much the whole reason that Next Level Occupational Therapy started. And as I said in the message I sent out, it was 5 years ago, actually in August, when the official paperwork was signed, but we really started doing things in September. So in honor of that, and he's having a big 5-day challenge coming up next week. Greg is here to educate us, talk to us, answer your guys' questions on how you can take your current knowledge and all the resources that you already have and monetize it, which is pretty much what he taught me to do back 5 years ago. So you guys ask questions in the chat, and make sure you turn the chat to to everyone, so that other people can see what you're asking, versus just being on host and panelists. So that way you guys can interact with each other. So that's it. Greg, I'll let you kind of take it from there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Kara, for having me on. I appreciate it. And happy anniversary to Next Level OT. You know, I think there's so many amazing things that have happened because of really one thing that you were able to do. Actually, there were actually 3 things that you did. And I truly believe because you did these 3 things, it's what created all the impact that has happened from this group. So it would be pretty cool for the people.
You're muted.
I said it would be, I'm sorry, guys. It would be really cool for those of you that are here in the chat. And this is not to swell up Kara's head, but to just let us know, you know, what Next Level OT, whether it's relationships, whether it's helping you start a business, whether it's making you more aware of something, on what this platform has done for you. And the reality is that, you know, for the amount of people that are on here and the amount of people who are listening to this, whether it's on live or on a replay, this platform has done so many things for thousands of people at this point. And it's only been 5 years, right? So I'm going to just bring you guys through what happened. Like how does something like this even happen, right? You know, Kara's an amazing individual, right? But I think Kara's a lot like me. I don't think she's any smarter than any of you. I just think that these 3 things happened. And the last one is the one that I think a lot of people struggle with. So anyways, let's talk about what happened. Is that cool? All right. Can I give you guys a little trip down memory lane with Next Level OT and how it started, since I was there on the first day when this thing started? Okay. So this is what I want you guys to write down. Okay. I want you to write down this. The first thing, if you guys can put this in the chat, I think this would be really awesome. So the first thing that happened is awareness. Okay. Awareness. Right. Okay. So awareness is what happened. And that happened Memorial Day weekend, 2019. Okay. So basically what I taught Kara that weekend was the same thing I'm going to tell you, but instead of in 3 days, which is what my event was, I'm going to teach it to you in 5 minutes. Okay. So here's the awareness. What I was able to just make Kara aware of is that there's a difference between a level 1 opportunity and a level 10 opportunity. And there's a difference between implementation and being a visionary. Okay. So I'm going to explain it to you all. I'm a physical therapist by trade. I know many of you are OTs. I know there's also PTs in this group, and there's many other professions. But basically, I was taught in 2000, from 1997 to 2000, I was trained in school to be a licensed physical therapist, and I was trained at a level 1 opportunity level. Okay. And so a level 1 opportunity means that I have the opportunity, in the way that I was trained, to only help people that are physically in front of me. Okay. So I learned how to do evaluations. I learned how to do reassessments. I learned how to do treatments. Okay, and I knew it at an entry level when I graduated December 26th of 2000. That's when I get my first job. Right? It was a level 1 opportunity, and so and by the way, every single one of you, like, we know for sure you know that. But here's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is that all the things that you have learned, all the things that you have experienced, all the relationships that you have, you can easily turn that into a higher level opportunity. Okay. So level 1 means that if I work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., that means that I can see a certain amount of patients. I have to physically be in front of them. I have to be able to give them my value, whether it's my information, whether it's my knowledge, my expertise, my technical skills, et cetera, right? I can only help a certain amount of people. Okay, that's a level 1 opportunity. The most amount of people you can help in a level 1 opportunity usually help anywhere between probably 4 people a day, all the way up to, like, if you're working at like a mill or something like that, you can help like 30 people a day. All right. Okay, it's a level 1 opportunity. A level 10 opportunity is what I presented to Kara. And what I explained to her, that if you ask yourself, well, how can I help more people and impact more people with the thing that I already know? Well, how can you do that? Well, can you do it in a higher level opportunity? So a higher level opportunity means that you can help people, whether they live in North Dakota, they live in South Dakota, they live in Montana, they live in Texas, they live in Maryland, they live in Nevada, like what we see on this call. Okay, it's taking things that you already know, and instead of just, I don't know, helping patients, you actually take the thing that you know and you figure out, how do I actually expand this so that I can help more people in less of my time? I just made her aware that was available. Is that correct, Kara?
100%
Just made her
correct.
aware of it. Okay. That's it. So right now, I'm on this call. There's 21 people on the call live. I am in the middle of a hurricane. I have lost power at my house, and I'm still, if you guys have gotten any value from me so far, you could put value in the chat, and I still, with no power, no light, no nothing, just my house being flooded, I'm still able to help in 10 minutes more people than I can help in a full day of treating patients at my clinics. I am doing level 10 opportunity work right now. That's it. It's just being aware of it. Now, were you taught that in OT school? Were you taught that in PT school? Were you taught that in Chiro school? No, you weren't taught any of that. All you were taught was how to be very, very good at doing level 1 opportunities. Do you have to be smarter to do level 9 or 10 opportunities? No. Do you have to have a higher level of certification? Do you have to have a certain amount of CEUs under your belt? Do you have to have a certain specialty certification through the AOTA? You don't have to have any of it. You just have to be aware of it. So that weekend, I made Kara aware that, hey, level 10 opportunities are available to you. So then she was like, I mean, I didn't even know her. She said, hey, you. So she brought me over and said, I'm going to do what you're doing right now. And it was called Smart Success PT. She's like, I'm going to start doing this for OTs. I'm going to figure out how to create a Facebook group. I kid you not, you guys. This is what happened when I came off stage. She literally brought me over and said, this is what I'm going to do. And she says, oh, I'm going to also sign up for your $30,000 mastermind. And then you're going to help me like build this thing. I was like, okay, lady. Okay, no problem. I just made her aware. Okay. All right. Now, does everybody get that? Can you go ahead and put in a chat awareness? Okay. That's step number 1. All right. Now, step number 2 is called alchemy. Okay. Step number 2 is called alchemy. So what is alchemy? Alchemy, have any of you ever read the book The Alchemist? It's a really, really, really good book. Okay. It's a book by from a guy named Paulo Coelho. And it's kind of like a whole, but I learned that book and alchemist is someone who takes metal scraps and takes metal, but turns the metal into gold. So Rosalind, it's really cool, right? An alchemist can take something that has been deemed not very valuable and not turn it into silver, not turn it into bronze, but turn it into gold, okay? And what do we know about gold? Gold is is a resource that really doesn't lose value. Actually, gold is known as the most valuable resource because gold is the one metal that never corrodes, right? So that's what an alchemist does. Is take something that people have assigned and said, well, that's not really worth that much, and turn it into something that is extremely valuable. So what did Kara have at that time? So I was like, okay, well, we're going to basically do alchemy. So I just had to figure out, well, what does she have? So what Kara had is Kara had experience. She was teaching at the occupational therapy level. So she knew how to teach. Okay, that's good. All right. She had a lot of experience as an occupational therapist. I believe she had started her practice, right? And she knew there were so many things she was trying to figure out with her practice that she didn't really like understand. And she spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy. I actually think when she found out about me, she was at another event trying to figure out more things on how to run this practice. And she's like, gosh, I know a lot of people would love to do this, but I see how much of a pain in the you know what it is to figure all this stuff out. Well, in my group, I'm just going to help people. But if people want help with that, I can help them with that. And she just started saying, what are all the things that I can actually help people with? That the way that I would do it prior to coming to this event is if somebody was like physically in front of me, maybe they're at a coffee shop or whatever. But I mean, not everybody lives where she lives, right? Okay. I mean, not like she's not out at an event like every single weekend. So she's like, wait, I can do this and I can help people with all the things that I already know. You notice I didn't say Kara had to go back to school. She didn't have to go get any other certifications. She didn't have to get any other degrees. She didn't have to, no, she didn't have to do any of that. She just had to perform alchemy. She just had to figure out, okay, what is it that I already have? I have experiences, I have talent, I know people, and take those things and say, all right, how do I monetize it? Does that make sense, you guys? Go ahead and put make sense in the chat. It's just called alchemy. Okay. All right. It's just figure out, okay, what do I already have? Forget about I've got to go and learn new stuff. What do I already have? And by the way, that's very difficult for most people because we have been trained and indoctrinated that first, the things that we already have, we've been assigned, especially for those of us that take, we take third-party insurance, whether it's Medicare, it's Medicaid, it's Blue Cross, it's United, it's Aetna, Cigna, whatever. We have been trained and indoctrinated that whatever it is that we have, there has been a value that's already been assigned to it by someone that has, they have a motive and they have an agenda to where the lower dollar value they can assign to it, the better off life is for them, right? So Kara had to fight through, wait a minute, what I had, this is not worth anything. This is only worth this is only worth that. And she had to go through the magical process of alchemy to see that, oh my gosh, the things that I actually know, they are worth something. So we talked about awareness and we talked about alchemy. And then the third part that she did is she took action. She was learning that from the stage. By the way, I wasn't the only speaker. All right. I have lots of students. I bring in speakers as well, but she was learning from each person. And that's great. You can learn from people. Okay, that's cool. But then you have to actually take action. So, the conference didn't even finish. And she already created this group called Next Level OT. Okay. She didn't wait like, oh my gosh, let me go and research different names. Let me take 5 months to figure out a name. Okay, let me take 5 months to figure out. No, she just started. If you notice, she said something. And by the way, that event was Memorial Day weekend. Okay, she said that the business got incorporated in September. Guys, she didn't wait. What she did right away, she wasn't trying to figure out how to monetize anything. What she said is, I'm just going to start to help people. And that's it. So before that weekend was over, she created the group. And she started inviting people to the group. And she just said, I'm going to do for people in this group what that man has just done for me. And today the group has how many people, Kara?
Over 10,000.
Over 10,000 people. And how many people have gone through maybe one of your programs? Like you do events, you do these online summits, you have your business builder program. You have so many, do you have an idea how many people have gone through it?
Yeah, in some form. There's
Yeah.
been, 3,000-4,000 have done at least a few things here and there.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, that's really it. That's really it. That's really it. And you know something? I'm actually really happy that this is my situation right now, because I want to show you all that you don't need everything perfect in order to actually help people. So guys, seriously, do me a favor. Give me proof right now. Look, I feel like I'm like the exorcist right now. Give me proof. Have I helped you out in any way in the last 22 minutes I've been doing this? Has anything I said been of some sense of value? Like anything. Okay. So here's my point. If I can do this with no power, no light, no water, just a freaking cell phone and a charging port on it because my cell phone died, and I can bring value to people, and people will listen to this after the fact. So if I can sleep tonight, because the house is going to be so darn hot, but let's just say while I'm sleeping, somebody that's working in a level 1 opportunity right now, and they can't be on this thing live, but they have to listen to this at midnight or 1 a.m. while I'm hopefully sleeping, okay? Like, and they could still get value from me. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I want to teach every single thinking healthcare professional on planet Earth. Because there are so many people right now. Gosh, it is so dark. Here, let me see if I can. There are so many people right now. Wow. Oh, wow. Wait, I was about to open. I forgot it's a damn hurricane. Okay. Whoa, that's crazy out there. Let's not do that. Okay. Let's just stay with the darkness. Okay. There are so many people right now that are in the healthcare space that right now are like, I don't think I can do healthcare anymore. I don't think I can be an OT anymore. I don't think I can be a PT anymore. I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I'm going to leave the profession. I think I'm done. I think I'm going to go to something else. And I have to be honest with you. I think for the majority of you, I mean, I know everybody's situation is a little bit unique here and there, but I think for the majority of you, that it's a really, really, really unwise decision. I think before you have done the process of alchemy, I would not make any decisions of making those moves, okay? The reality is that the way that they have trained us to do things in healthcare is not feasible, because it's not making the money that most of you want to make. And if you were to make the money that you wanted to make, doing it the way that you're doing it right now, you probably kill yourself. You're probably working about 90 hours a week, okay? So the way that you're doing it might not be the most ideal way, but please understand that's just because you're not aware of how to do alchemy. And so I've done alchemy with Kara. I've done alchemy with probably many people that are in Kara's world. Most of them have come through my path at some point, okay? And Kara has taken the things that I have taught her along with many of her other wise coaches, and she has continued to perform alchemy, and she's helping you all perform alchemy. And all I want is for people to do alchemy, because if people do alchemy, pretty much all of our problems of healthcare are gone. But I don't think enough people are doing alchemy. I know they're not learning it. They're not learning it at the school level. They're not learning it at the CEU courses. Very few people are teaching them it. And I want everybody to learn it, because healthcare is what allowed me to have the life that I have today. And I feel like everybody should have that opportunity to at least be aware of it and to learn it. And so I'm going to be doing that with people over 5 days. And I actually have something special for your audience, Kara. So can I say it now before I go into questions?
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so here's how it works, right? So the way that it works is the 5-day event. In the past, I've usually done the events like I do free, I do $5. I'm sorry, I do free, I do 97, and I do 197, right? So the 97 is for people to get coached by me, and they get to come on for VIP, and they get to listen to it on replays, right? Because not everybody can come every single day. So here's what I told my team that I would do for you guys. Anyone that signs up for the $5 amount, I'm going to move them. I'm just going to upgrade them, Kara, to $97. Anyone that signs up for the 97, I'm going to upgrade them to the 197, which is where you get to ask me questions in a private room after each day. And I actually work with you specifically. All the VIP people can just listen in. Okay, but I let the Platinum VIP people get their questions answered, and I coach them individually for 5 days. Okay, so I think it's a really, really great deal. Now, you don't know me, but here's the deal. Um, this Tuesday, people pay me if they want to work with me privately for a day. I had somebody come in; they flew in from Michigan, and people pay me $25,000 to work with me for a day. So I think it's a pretty good deal, because for 5 days you get to work with me, and I answer your questions, and I basically help you build out your whole alchemy plan, and that's it. So if that works for you, then cool, do it. If not, then ask me questions now, and I'll answer them, and I'll stay on as long as needed, unless you guys can't see me anymore. This is a legendary story, though. This is really cool. I'm like, you guys realize I'm eating this up. I've never ever done like a live video coaching not having power. So this
I've
is
been
like,
taking pictures.
like, yeah, you're taking pictures. Okay, can you please send me the pictures? I think this is great. You guys, we're making history right now. This is so cool that we're doing this. I'm coaching at a hurricane. Yes, I'm committed, Mary Rush. Yeah, I'm committed.
Deb is a
Yeah.
little concerned because she said it's now a Category 4 storm.
Yes, but I'm Jamaican, so I'm used to this. No, actually, I don't want to make fun of it. So the reality, I live in Indian Rocks Beach. So I live about 10 minutes south of Clearwater Beach. The storm going to hit, and please pray for the people in, it's called the Big Bend area. So that's like Tallahassee, that is Cedar Key. It's going to hit them directly, and it's going to hit them at a Category 4. We are getting about 70 to 75 mile per hour winds out here. It's just extremely windy, because I live underwater. There's a lot of flooding, but I go through this pretty much every single year. So this is like, we're okay, and we'll have this until, it's more just inconvenient. So we'll have this until about 10 p.m. tonight, and they'll probably restore our power, you know, probably tomorrow, and we should be back to normal. So, anyways, but please pray for the people up in North Florida, and yeah. So, anyways, as long as you guys can hear me, if you guys can hear, you guys can still hear me good. I'll stay on. I'll answer questions. Kara, can you just do me a favor? Can you tell me whatever the questions are, just
Yep.
and then just tell me who it is, and I'll coach the people on the call. Cool.
Perfect. We have a few people that already signed up.
Oh, cool.
And they want to
Awesome.
know how they can upgrade, because now they know about your offer.
Okay, so inside of the Next Level OT group, okay, after the call, I will get Brittany to give the upgrade link, okay? And so the Platinum VIP is $197. Do not upgrade to that. If you upgrade to the VIP, I'll automatically move you to that, okay? If you want to be on the challenge and you want to be in VIP, just buy the $5 one. I won't charge you the 97. It'll upgrade you to the 97 thing. So anyways, Kara, you probably have a link for them to sign up for the $5 thing. Just go ahead and put that link there. Just sign up for 5, and everybody, this is Next Level's birthday. It's Next Level OT's birthday. And like I can't come to this call without giving y'all a gift. So I got to give you a gift. So that's my gift. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Next Level. Happy birthday to you. There you go.
Cha-cha-cha.
Look, man, I'm a dad of 4. Yeah. Cha-cha-cha. Ooh la la. Cut the cake and say hiya. Okay. Anyways. All right. Come on. What question do you have? You guys have any questions?
So you guys need to come up with questions, everyone, because you don't always get to ask someone that literally, I mean, you can go there and pay $25,000 to spend this time with Greg, or you can ask a question here. Okay, we got one. Number one pitfall you've seen over and over.
People trying to have everything figured out before they move forward. People trying to create the perfect offering before they actually release the offer. That's probably the biggest thing. Just perfectionism, you know. like everybody wanting it right before they bring it out to people. But usually what it is, and who's asking this? What's the person's name?
That's Mary.
Mary. Yeah. Most of the time, it's pride. It's pride. It's fear that what you put out might not work. But the reality is that the offer you don't make is the offer someone can't take. And the only way it's going to truly get better, and the only way you're going to have an offer, whatever it is, whether it's a plan of care sessions, it's at your or whatever it is, the only way it's going to get better is if you get feedback from people. And I think sometimes as healthcare providers, we're so afraid of getting that feedback that we make up excuses on why we can't put it out yet. We try to make it perfect. And the reality is that that's not how it works, you know? So I think that's the biggest pitfall. And I think most people they really struggle with that. So, yeah.
This one's from Aaron, and he is in Kansas City, Chiefs fan, I think, right, Aaron? What ways do you recommend leveraging and creating alchemy for client care, and in addition to business coaching?
Yeah. So I'll talk about the client care one first. I believe that, I'll tell you this, Aaron. I was starting to get very frustrated as a therapist when I realized that the better I got, the less money I made. And that was extremely frustrating for me. So I know everybody's got a different way of doing this, but the way that I do alchemy for clinicians is by having them, well, first of all, everything that I do is an offer, okay? I don't like to really get paid per visit or per session. I like to get paid as an offer because I can position an offer in a way that I can get paid whatever it is that I want. When I'm doing things like everybody else, I have to get paid like everybody else, okay? So one of the things that I have done for clinicians is make their offer based on getting someone a result instead of making their offer based on someone just getting my individual time. So instead of charging X amount of dollars per hour, I will say, no, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what the problem is that this person has. And we are going to focus on giving them a package that's based off of getting a result. So as I get better as a clinician, I'm usually able to get that result in a shorter period of time. I still charge for the result. So as my technical skills, as my experience, as my expertise increases, I can get them the result in a shorter period of time. Hence, my dollar per hour increases. Conversely, when I charge people per hour or per session, as I get better, I make less. because like when I became a therapist, it would take me like 2 months to get someone better for a problem that I can now get better in like 4 to 5 sessions. So I realized that as I was getting more proficient, I was making less. So I just set it up to where it's the offer is called a clinical solution-based offer. And so now people still pay me, they pay me for the results. We need to get your neck better, your knee better, maybe it's like whatever that thing is. So that's how I do it. Okay. And then there are some patients, especially if you guys are working with like neuro patients, you're working with people where it's not so clear cut that they're going to get a result in a certain amount of time. The way that I do it with those people is I put them into a monthly recurring revenue program. So I charge them a monthly fee instead of charging them per visit. And so the cool thing about that is that I don't feel like I have to start over every month. I have a certain amount of people that are on monthly recurring. I think here, and just to kind of go back to Mary's, question, she said, "What's the biggest pitfall that people make?" I think what I said was number one. I think number two is the question that Aaron said, is that I think most people are just working in the wrong model. They're just working in a model that is not, it's not set up for you to win. like you can't win. And the better you get, the less you make. And that's just very frustrating. So hopefully that answers that.
Awesome. Besides coaching investment, what's the best thing we can do now? And this is from Mary.
From Mary. Besides coaching investment, I mean,
So
taking,
I'll give you, Mary, are you okay if
let's,
I
yeah,
share a
give me
little
some,
bit?
yeah,
I think Mary's, I mean,
give
Mary's
me
in our,
more
so
context.
she's in our program. She's building her business. She's adding on
Yep.
staff. She's in Kansas City area right now, and she's taken like when she started, she had to kind of backtrack to get everything set up and going. And now she's getting her basis set and now building her business up. But I'm guessing she would like to continue to expand and grow. So what other advice do you have? Oh, and she's interested in raising rates.
Mary, okay, so look, the biggest thing I would tell you is, I wish somebody would have told me this when I was 27 years old and I started my first clinic. And that is, it's in your best interest to adopt a rich mindset. And if you adopt the mindset, that's the first thing that you need to do to become the thing. And so, Mary, I gotta be honest with you, I think a lot of things that you're doing are right. I think what the rich mindset do is they invest their money in buying back their time. I'm a very big believer in that. And so for me, everything is about how do I buy back my time, not buy more stuff. Okay. So poor people, they just want to buy stuff. Okay. The poor mindset is like, okay, how do I use money to buy more so I can compare myself to the Joneses that are already broke? Okay. So I don't like that. I don't like the lazy person's mindset, which is let me buy things that are distracting, right? So it's like, instead of focusing on how do I take my business to the next level, they're focused on how to keep my Netflix subscription and how do I get Disney Plus and Hulu and every other thing. Okay. So for me, it's all about building two things: building your skill set and time. And so, Mary, the fact that you're willing to get advice and counsel from people that have gone a path that you are trying to go through, and you're buying back your time, it's very smart. The fact that you are adding staff members, so you are now focusing on more things that Mary should be focusing on, versus you doing everything and burning yourself out, that's buying back your time. So I got to be honest with you, I think you're doing those things. The biggest thing I would just tell you is to make sure you just stay consistent on those things, and understand the knowledge surface area, meaning that the more you start to learn, the more you're going to realize how much you still need to know. Okay. But don't let that paralyze you to just take action. Understand that you don't know what you don't know. Just continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to invest, and continue to buy back your time. Play the time game. If there's one thing I tell every single person on this call, play the time game. Do not play the money game. Play the time game, because if you play the time game, you can get back your time and you automatically get money. You play the money game, you can get money, but you're probably going to be miserable in the process.
And I just want to give props out to Mary because, we got her set up with a virtual assistant who's helping her do all of the admin. I mean, helping her do all the stuff she shouldn't be doing anyways. So she is truly investing in that mindset. Definitely.
Yeah. I think you're doing a great job. It sounds to me like you're doing a great job. So I would just say stay consistent. Stay consistent on what you're doing, and just continue to seek wisdom. Learn and grow, and just continue to invest in people and invest in yourself and continue to build. The one thing I know is this: especially when you start to bring on a team of people, right? The people are only going to go as far as Mary takes them. How if they see you growing and investing in yourself, it's going to will your team along with you. if they see that you start to let up and you're like, okay, let me kind of mail it in, then you start to run into problems. It might not happen right away, but eventually it does. So just continue to do what you're doing. There you go.
Jillian wants to know, is there any liability in offering these types of services to other clinicians?
To other clinicians?
And I'm not, Jillian, do you
Well,
want to explain like what kind of services? But I'm guessing maybe like coaching type services. I don't know if you want to explain that a little bit more.
yeah. So, I mean, if Jillian says anything in the chat, you can go ahead and tell me. But Jillian, one of the biggest breakthroughs that I had to have in my career is in order to even embrace and take advantage of the opportunity of level 8, level 9, level 10 opportunities is understanding that, and I don't know if you're an occupational therapist, but understanding that that every single one of you that's on this call, to me, being greater than a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, a speech therapist, is the fact that you all are consultants. Every single one of you on this call is a consultant. You consult people. Like that's what you do. You're doing it every single day. You're doing it with your patients. You're doing it with pretty much anyone that you have given any type of counsel and advice to. So one of the biggest things that I had to do is understand that I am both for me, a licensed physical therapist, but I'm also a consultant. And when I am acting in my role as a consultant, I am not under all of the limitations and legal restrictions that I am as a licensed physical therapist. In your case, a licensed occupational therapist. So I have been acting as a consultant since 2008. Okay, and by the way, I've been a physical therapist since 2000. I just didn't understand this part, and so for me, what I realized is that I'm just able to affect and influence so much more people in my role as a consultant. I'm sometimes using my experiences and my knowledge and all this other stuff as a clinician, as I'm consulting with people, but I'm not under all those limitations. And so it's in your best interest, every single one of you, to acknowledge that, and to adopt the identity of a consultant. If not, you are going to be so paralyzed because you're going to be limited. You'll always stay in a level 1 to 2 opportunity. Keep that in mind.
The offer. How do you manage your divided attention of what you're doing and what you could be doing?
I understand. This is what I understand. And by the way, who's asking
sorry.
This
is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. How are you? So one of the things that I understand is this. I understand the 80-20 rule. So I'll talk about that. I understand what's better than 80-20. Okay. And so here, why don't we start there? Okay. So let me just give you this for context, Michelle. I do have 5 businesses. Okay. Now I say that to you all, but I want to also keep it real with you. All right. I spend 80% of my time in one business. I spend 20% of my time in the other 4 combined. Okay. 80%, 20%. Michelle, I know that I have so many opportunities today. Okay. This is just a season that I'm in because I've been doing this for so long and and all this other stuff. Okay. So I have to say no a lot more than I say yes today. Right. With that said, I understand that 20% of Greg Todd, okay, me doing it at 20%, Michelle, you would destroy me if you're giving 100%, even if you're not as good, even if you're not as experienced. I understand that everything's about energy and it's about focus. Okay. So the reality is that in whatever you do, you just want to be able to do, again, assuming, Michelle, you're in the right opportunity and you're in a high level opportunity. Michelle, if you can do that opportunity and you can be at the top 3% in that opportunity, you're going to be able to write whatever check you want. And the only way I see that happening is if you are adopting the F word, and that is focus. And so I know that I can't do everything. I know that I've got to say no to a lot of things. But if you can just understand that, yes, I'm saying no to these things, but the one thing or the two things that I'm going to do, if you are going to do two things, it's got to be 80-20. Okay. And of the two things that you are going to do, you're going to put most of your effort into that one thing. And understand that if you don't, you're probably not going to win, because somebody else that is not as good as you, that's not as experienced as you, that's not as talented as you, that doesn't have the resources, if they are working nonstop on that thing and you're only doing it for a little bit, even as good as you are, you're going to get beaten. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Be very careful. It is true that many millionaires have multiple streams of income, but here's the reality. The reality is that many of you did not know anything about me until 2016, 2017. And the reason why you didn't know anything about me is because I wasn't anywhere to be known. I was building my business. I was building my business from 2005 to 2016. I was building. I was in building mode, okay? And I built it to the point where the business allowed me to now have the ability to shift my focus and energy to something, not 80%, but 20%. And that's what I did with this thing, Smart Success PT. Now it's called Smart Success, healthcare, okay? And then over time, as I started to see that it took off, I was able to shift from 80% renewal rehab, 20% SSHC to 80% SSHC, 20% renewal rehab into other businesses. So it's all about focus, you guys. That's really it, So yeah, that's it.
I mean, you guys really need to consider this. And I love that the fact that you said the F word. I can't wait to tell my family. Got a new F word, you guys. Focus, because that is true. And Greg, like for me,
it really is.
I've even had to shift that back and forth. Like for instance, like home therapy solutions, like that'd be my 20% and Next Level my 80%. And then something happens or some shift changes and I actually needed to kind of shift back the other way.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the focus part is huge, and I couldn't do what I'm doing without all of my staff either.
Right.
And, because I know I hear it a lot, like, how do you do it all? Well, I mean, I have amazing staff or on both sides, that really helps. So, but focus is huge. I really see people struggling with that focus because they're trying to do one thing, but then they see someone else doing something else. So they really think they should do that. What are your thoughts on how to help people with that focus?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. I think number one is, you remember I said, I always teach people in these three ways: awareness, alchemy, action. Okay. So the first thing that we must be aware of is what is the current season that you're in your life. Okay. All right. And I think every single one of us, we need to be self-aware with regards to this. Okay. Now, assuming that you're in an opportunity to where hard work will pay off. I'm going to assume that. All right. And to me, that is the most important thing. You've got to be in an opportunity where if you put in this hard work, it will eventually pay off. Okay. Now, assuming if you have that correct, then now let's talk about the next part. Let's talk about the focus part. And it's understanding this. It is understanding seasons, and it's understanding what true work-life balance means. Are you guys ready for it? You guys ready for it? You ready? Okay. All right. This is awesome. I love this. Okay. All right. So I need you guys to understand this. And I promise you, next week, you will get a full, bright version of me. I promise it's going to be good. And if this is good and this is no power, no light, can you imagine what next week's going to be like? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So guys, no, seriously, I do need everybody, just in case you don't come next week. If there was one thing I could leave you with, because Kara is a mom of 3. I am a dad to 4 kids. Okay. And my kids are homeschooled. I take much more honor in my role as a father and as a hubby to my lady for the last 24 years. Okay. And I want you guys to understand this. Assuming that the opportunity part is right, I think it's probably wrong for a lot of people, but I'm going to assume it's that, okay, let's get that right. Please understand work-life balance. You ready? You guys ready for it? It doesn't exist. Work-life balance does not exist. Okay. Here's how it really works. The way it really works is that there are seasons. There are seasons of life. And there are seasons that you are in a high level of focus and it's very little balance. And there are seasons of life where you are in much more balance and very little focus. Okay. So the reality is that if you are a brand new business owner, okay, if you're a brand new business owner, you are in a season. You don't have the resources, and you don't have the you haven't afforded yourself yet to have a big team like Kara or whatever. Okay, you are in a season where you have to be a lot. It's just a season you're in. Okay, it's a season you're in. And maybe you're not going to be able to go to every single thing. And like, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's a luxury. Okay. And it's something that like I had to talk to my kids about. Like my kids understood, yes, daddy did miss some recitals. Daddy did miss some of these things, but because daddy is working is the reason why you can be at the recitals. Right. And my kids, like I have such an amazing relationship with all four of my kids today. But the reality is that the 21-year-old and the 18-year-old, daddy didn't go to every single thing. Okay. I went to most, but I didn't go to everything because we were just in a certain season. Okay. All right. Now, today, if I leave the house at 9 and I come back at 2, when I walk in the house, my 11-year-old, you would think sometimes I want to like a poster, like I just went to Afghanistan. Okay, because they're so used to me being home all the time. Okay, like even when I say, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go upstairs and do this," like, "Aw," okay. Well, guess what? It's because it's different because I'm in a different season in my life. Okay, so because I have built and I created momentum, like I can do 45 minutes, an hour of this, and this will create so much impact. Okay, all right. But it wasn't always like that. There's times where I would do stuff and like I'd go to workshops or I do this or I do events or I do things in the West Chapel area and nothing would happen. It's just understanding what season you're in. Okay. What I think that many people, they want something to happen. They want to have it to happen fast. They're not in the right opportunity. So what they do is they're constantly trying to find a new thing, the new thing, the new thing, the new thing. It will never, ever work for you because you've never like just honored, this is where I'm at. I'm at a great opportunity. I got to put into work. Let me let all parties know. Kids, wifey, hubby, this is what's going on. If y'all miss me, come on, do it with me. Okay, or whatever the case may be. But we're going to build something. We're going to build something epic. And there's going to be one day where we're going to do very little of this and we're going to get so much more. And that's what it is today for me. That's what it is today for Kara. Okay, but it wasn't always like that. Man, I hope that didn't fall on deaf ears, but that is the truth. Now, that might not be the sexy answer, but I like to keep it real. Got it? Good.
Hold that pose. Okay, so you talked about momentum, and
Yes.
what about when you have that momentum, you make a decision, you're starting a business, you're starting to, do that thing, and then it doesn't go like you hoped, and you kind of stop for a while. And then you struggle to get going. What do you tell people in that stage? Or
Yes.
they have really good momentum and they're really trying, but it's still not getting where they need to be. Thoughts for those people?
Yeah. Okay. That's called business. And that's called this. I need everybody to understand this. Okay. So I need you to understand physics. Okay. All right. And so I need you to understand that you have an inertia and you have momentum. Okay. All right. All right. So you guys ready? Is everybody ready to start writing stuff down? Okay. By the way, is this terrible, or are you guys still kind of getting this, or are we good? Like, should I keep on going? I mean, I don't know. Like, can they even see me? Do you guys want more? You guys want more? Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, so I need you guys to understand inertia, and I need you guys to understand momentum. Okay. So, ready? This is for everyone. Inertia is this. It is an object at rest, stays at rest until acted upon by an opposing force. When you start business, you can work and work and work and work and do all the right things, but you are dealing with inertia. You're dealing with inertia. Okay. You push the thing, you push it, you push it. This is not working. It is working. It's either working for you or it's working on you. Regardless, it is working. Okay. You are learning things. A lot of times you're learning what to do. Sometimes you're learning what not to do. Okay. But the only way you're going to learn it is if you do. Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to audibly work yet, but just understand you're dealing with inertia. All right. Okay. Now what will happen is you push, you push, you push, you push, you push, and then the thing's not moving. And all of a sudden, one day it starts to budge. Okay. That could be for many of you, that's your first client. Okay. That's your this, it's that. Okay. All right. Now you've got momentum on your side. Okay. Now, ready to write down the definition of momentum? Momentum is an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by an opposing force. So that's how I'm going to answer this question. If you've got some momentum and things are working in your favor, understand that if you stop doing it, you stop doing those things, you are now creating an opposing force. You're saying, I'm going to stop doing the things that made me go from inertia to momentum. That's not a really smart thing to do. Okay, that's not smart, my friends. All right. So please understand that inertia and momentum are working at all times. At all times, it's working. Okay. And so like, I just believe that everything works. I'm either learning from it, it's working on me, or it's working for me, or it's working in me. It's all working. I think a lot of times we think that because something's not giving us money right away, or it's not doing this, or we're not getting that you know that feedback of you're great, you're amazing, oh my gosh, we screw ourselves over. So, anyways, just keep that in mind. It's all working. You just got to continue, and you got to be consistent. That's it.
Tanya wants to know, how would a consultant role be adopted as a COTA and an ATP?
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can. You froze just for a second.
Okay. Say that question again, please.
It's from Tanya, and she wants
Yeah.
to know, how would the consultant role be adopted as a COTA and an ATP?
Okay, so the consultant role. So basically, Tanya, there is something that okay, that I believe that other people don't know. Okay, and whether that is through your expertise as a coda, whether that is through something that you're passionate about that has absolutely nothing to do with being a coda, okay, or that is through the clinical expertise that you have. Okay, so how would you do it? Basically, there's really 5 steps to it. All right, so I'll kind of break it down for you, and I'm going to break this down on day 2 of. I think I'm going to do this on day 2 of the challenge next week. But basically, it's like this. All right, this is how I usually get people to figure out what it is that they want to focus on if they're going into a higher level opportunity. And for many people, it's consultant, but for a lot of people, it's not. All right. I'll explain those. But for right now, let me just kind of answer your question. So there is the 5 P's. All right. It's passion, it's problem, profit, presence, pathway. All right. So here's how it works. Okay. Number 1 is we have to find a problem that either A, you are passionate about, or B, other people are passionate about having solved. Okay. It's got to be some, and usually like that group or whoever it is, there's subgroups for them, whether it's on Facebook groups, it's Reddit groups, it's there's somewhere where these people talk about their problem and they're really passionate about it. Okay. You could be passionate about it too, but there has to be a sizable amount of people. It can't just be that I love this. Like I love, international basket weaving. I mean, that's great. And if there's a big enough group for it, great. But if there's not, then we can't do it. Okay. So there's got to be some passion there, which then leads to a problem, right? There's got to be a problem. And I like to find problems that other people have already solved. I just like to come at my problem, the problem, I'm solving it in a unique way. Okay. Like for instance, there's other business, like Kara's a business coach. Okay. She does business coaching. She has her business. I have my businesses. I do some consulting as well. Right. But what you're going to see is that Kara is different, right? Kara's different. I'm different. Right. Okay. And we all come at our, like how we do things in a different way. Like I don't do the same stuff that Kara does. Kara doesn't do the same stuff that I do. Right. But we're unique in our own way, right? So a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to solve the same problem that other people because that means I can't do it. Yes, you can. Okay. Because lots of people just want problem solved differently, right? Amazon sells stuff, Target sells stuff. Okay. Some people want to go and they want to actually feel the stuff and they're only going to buy it at Target. Okay. Or some people want to go to the chaos of Walmart. Okay. Some people like they don't want to leave their house, so they're going to go on Amazon. All right. Everybody, it's the same stuff. You're buying stuff, but it's just you're doing it in a different way. All right. Okay. Number 3 is profit. Okay. I like to show that there's proof that people have actually like it's one thing for you to have a problem. It's another thing that you're willing to put money to have that problem solved. Okay. So profit is a third thing. All right. We got to make sure that people are willing to spend money on having whatever problem it is that you can solve. All right. Presence is that you can come to the market unique in your way, and you can be a go-to person. You don't have to be the only person, but you can be a go-to person in that area. And then the last is pathway. You guys got to know where the people are at, right? Okay, like you got to know where the people are. The people are usually either on platforms. They're usually other people already have the audience, okay, or they're available through paid traffic. And so once you have all those things, then and you can check off all those boxes, then you know that you have something that you can actually create alchemy with. So, I know I went over that real fast, but I tried to do my best.
That was awesome. Advice for continuing momentum despite not having things. This is from Mary. So let's start over. Advice for continuing momentum despite not having things perfect at the start, now growing, scaling, and having to backtrack to set foundation right and playing catch up constantly.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it's always going to happen. You're going to always look at things in retrospect and be like, oh my gosh, you should have done that. Oh my gosh, you should have done that. Oh, we should do that. Oh my gosh, we didn't have this in place. Mary, this is all part of running a business. This is all part of it. Okay. The reality is this: the majority of you here, I think you're a lot like me than you are like what most people are saying entrepreneurs should be. How many of you would say you're kind of like me? And so let me explain how I am. I did not want to be an entrepreneur.
Sorry, Chuck was talking to me. What'd you say?
Okay. I was like, I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. Like I didn't go to PT school like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to come out and start a business. I feel like I was forced into this. So it's not like I've been groomed as this entrepreneur since I was like 8. I think that's most of you as well. Like you didn't want to do this. The majority of us felt like we were forced into this, right? Because the system sucks, right? So it's like crap, it's like, I got to do this. So the reality is that like, we're all, I mean, yes, I've been an entrepreneur now for 20 years, but the reality is that like, I'm still learning, and Mary, you're still learning too. All right. So if you just understand that like, there's nothing wrong with you, you're going to realize, wow, in retrospect, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. That's pretty much normal. Like that's what you're going to constantly see. Okay. And if you're around, like Mary, I'm in a mastermind, right? And in a mastermind, you can't be in this mastermind unless you generate over $1 million a year over year over year over year, right? And if you went into that room, Mary, you'd be like, wow, all these people think they're like the dumbest people in the world. Okay, because we're constantly like, oh wow, I could have done that. Oh, I should have done that. So, Mary, the same things you're dealing with is what we all deal with. Okay, just understand it's normal. It's okay. It's just not okay to just say it is what it is and not do anything about it. So I think I really do, even though I don't know you, I think you're doing a really good job. I think you're doing a really good job, right? And by the way, I love the fact that you're kind of beating yourself up because it just shows that you really want to get better and grow. So you sound like a rock star. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
Olga wants to know, what advice do you have for not falling into the shiny object syndrome trap?
Uh, Gosh, man. Olga, I got to tell you something. I said earlier the number one pitfall, and then I said, oh, but this will be number two. All right, maybe this one will be like number one, two, or three. I don't know, but like Olga, I understand this. I understand that if I don't focus, I'm gonna get absolutely crushed. Okay, and I understand that this thing that I'm using right now, Olga, is probably one of the most amazing weapons. And this thing that I'm using right now is a phone. If I didn't have this phone, especially given what's going on right now, there's no way I could have served you this evening. Okay. This thing is so powerful, and this thing has the ability to make you all hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. This thing right here. This thing also has the ability to turn into an EIR. So here, can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys write this down in the chat? EIP versus EIR. Please write that in the chat. Okay, you ready? This thing that I'm holding right now in my hand is an EIP for me. Okay, it's an electronic income producer. This thing, this same thing that I'm holding right now in my hand, if you let shiny object syndrome take hold of you, this thing is an electronic income reducer. For 95% of people, this thing that I'm holding in my hand is an EIR. For 5% of you, and I hope every single one of you on this call, after I've given you this awareness, you make this thing an EIP. This thing has the ability, you guys right now in your phone, if you went in your phone, you have this area in your phone. It's called contacts. Okay. I don't care if you have an iPhone or you have an Android or whatever. Every single one of you. Okay. If you pick up your phone, you have contacts. In your contacts, I'm telling you right now, if your mindset is right, you have people right now that if you were to do the things that I talked about on this call, there are relationships that you can build on your phone that can make you money. Okay. But if you pick this thing up and after this call, you go on Instagram and Facebook and you go watch your 35th cat video for the day, okay? Or your cat's flying off the chandelier. It turns into an EIR. Guys, are you follow me? Yeah, you follow me. All right. It's either an EIP or it's an EIR. Shiny object syndrome, you're making this thing. Shiny object syndrome comes from this thing that I'm holding. Okay. All right. You guys, you want to know why? So Kara will tell you because she's been a client of mine. Part of the reason why I charge people when I charge them is to basically eliminate shiny objects syndrome. Okay. All right. I will charge people so much money. All right. I charge them so much money that it forces them to have to listen to me. When Kara paid me $30,000, she had to listen to me. By the way, she'll even tell you before she did that. I don't think she's ever done that before. Okay, so guess what? Every single thing I told her, she said, "Okay, done. Okay, done. Okay, done." Right? You guys, shiny objects syndrome, okay, can be eliminated with focus. You got to figure out how the heck can you focus. Okay, and this thing, it can either be a weapon to be used for good or for bad. Got it? Has everybody got it? Say I got it in the chat.
Okay, we have a good question. Well, they're all good questions. Okay. This is from Aaron, and I believe Martha said my question exactly. So a couple of people have this question. Follow up on consultant versus clinician role. So when insurances like Medicare force us to bill insurance as licensed healthcare professionals for medically necessary services, and we aren't able to opt out of billing insurance, how do we upgrade to consultant role for helping people with our healthcare skills?
So at my clinics, I actually take insurance at my clinics. Okay. And I use insurance as I call a loss leader. I know that I'm not going to make a ton of money. Like it's not a business that I want to build off of strictly taking insurance. Okay. Now, I don't know what type of consultant role you're going to do. Okay. We got to figure that out. I don't know if it's going to be with the clients that you're working with already via insurance, or it's going to be with other people. Like Kara did it with, like, she has her people that she works with through her clinics, but she's also consultant for other things outside of just her patients, right? So I don't know what it's going to be for you. So it doesn't have to just be for patients, okay? But if it is going to be for patients, then what I do is I the way that I do it is I do a pyramid, okay? So when I am doing a consultation with my clients, I will, at the end of the consultation, during like the assessment part, what I do is I show them a pyramid, okay? It's something that I build up my clients. And in the pyramid, I kind of show the clients where they, like, I kind of show them 4 different levels of the pyramid, right? So it's them at the lowest, basically it's the lowest level. Let's just say it's, they're injured, they can't do the thing they want to do, they can't do the ADLs, blah, 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 whatever, okay? And then it's the highest level of the types of people that I work with at my facilities. And that is where these people can do everything, okay? And so I just let them know when I'm showing them the pyramid, I let them know the different levels of the pyramid. I let them know the steps that they need to achieve, to move from the bottom level of the pyramid to the second level, what they need to do to remove from the second level to the third level, what they need to do to move from the third level to the fourth level, and then what things they need to do to stay at the fourth level, what they need to do to stay at the top. And so when I'm showing them that, especially for those of you that are dealing with insurance, I just let them know that you do not have to do all these things, but there are certain things that insurance will cover for steps and processes for you to get to different levels of the pyramid. And there's certain things that insurance won't cover. Certain things I can do as a licensed occupational therapist or physical therapist. And there's certain things that we actually have the services, or we have other people that have those services as a consultant or as an advisor. That's it. That's it. And I get my patients to self-identify with where do you think you're at on the pyramid? Where do you want to get to? And then these are the things that we're going to be able to do based on your insurance. Now, the other things that are available to them, I recommend them. You don't have to do it, but I also set the expectations that if you don't do it, then it's just going to be a little bit harder, but this is what you're going to have to do. And it's so simple to do, you guys. It is so simple to do. It's so simple, but you have to be able to present it properly to your clients. So if you are doing it with your patients, that's how you kind of separate the clinical role versus the consultant role. And you just have to do that from the get-go, okay? If you're going to do it to where you're going to do what you're doing with your clients, so you're going to treat them with insurance, that's fine. And then you're going to work with a totally different avatar, a totally different group of people, then that's a whole different thing for another day. So.
Okay. Pretty sure we covered all of the questions.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm just double checking. If you guys have any questions that I missed, please retype them, sorry. Or if you have any other questions, let us know before Greg logs off of his, I love your spotlight. I mean, I almost think you just need to do this anyways. I mean, the spotlight on you is pretty stellar.
Okay, I guess so. I guess so. Oh my God. Kara, you gotta send me this. This is too much. Guys, I was not planning that it was gonna be like this today, but hey, it is what it is. And one of the things I'm gonna talk about in the challenge is I don't know if any of you have heard of this concept, and it's called Ikigai. Have any of you heard of that? I'm going to really show this, because I think a lot of people don't understand this, but probably like, why is this crazy man doing this like right now? This is so crazy. So Ikigai is when you are like truly in your purpose. And it's when you love what you do, you're really good at it, the world needs it, you can get paid to do it, and I understand that most people they're not in that situation. I'm very blessed in that today, you know, I'm in a situation to where like I get to do this. Like I I knew if this was something that I didn't want to do, I would have canceled it. I wanted to do this for you guys so badly. I don't know most of you, but I love this so much, and I truly feel like this is like my purpose and my mission and God's calling on my life. And um and yeah, and so I feel like I'm living in Ikigai, right? And so like I haven't been living in Ikigai my entire career. Like there's times that I didn't really love what I did, but I knew it would pay the bills, and I did it, right? Or, like it's like, hey, I love the thing that I do, but I can't make any money from it. Like I just believe that if you're in a situation to where you can do what you love, you can make money from it, the world needs it, um, and it can truly become your mission. I believe there's no stopping you, and even a hurricane can't stop me from doing this, right? And so, anyways, I just feel very blessed. I want to thank you, Kara, for having me on. I want to thank all of you for being here for the 5 years of Next Level OT. And yeah, I just want this for every single one of you in whatever way that looks, for you. So yeah, so this is the first.
Woo-hoo. Greg,
Yeah.
one last thing. Can you talk about the birthday present that you announced for, because
Yeah.
some people logged off and they wanted that reviewed.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I'm going to be doing a 5-day challenge next week. Okay, it's going to be from 7 p.m. Eastern to 8:30 p.m. And then after I do the main stage challenge, I actually do a VIP for about an hour. Kara's actually going to be a guest of one of those days. Okay, so me and the guest come on. I usually bring one of my clients that have done whatever concept I'm going to talk about that day. We discuss it. So what I'm going to be doing, it's called the Path to Gold, challenge, and I'm going to be performing alchemy with you all for 5 days. And so my goal is by the end of the challenge, you all will have your path to how you can make lots of money with what you already have. Okay. And so I want to show you that in the same way I showed it to Kara in 2019. Right. And so I'm going to be teaching you guys my system and my framework of how I do this. Now I've done it with 4,800 people. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. The challenge is $5 for a general ticket. That's where you get access to each day. $97 is VIP, where you get to listen to each day, but you also get the replays and you get to go to the VIP room. 197 is where you get all those things I just said, but in the VIP room, you get to ask questions. So you see how you guys ask me, Q&A like this. I let the Platinum VIP people do the Q&As. So since it's Next Level's birthday, and I can't come here and be one of those stingy uncles with no gift, I said, this is what I'm going to do. Anyone that signs up for the $5, you automatically get moved to VIP. Anyone that signs up for VIP, you automatically get moved to Platinum VIP. Okay. And if you are cheapo and you don't want to pay anything, well, that's fine. If you can come in for free, and I'll bring you in as a $5. Is that cool? Come on, that's a killer gift, right? That's cool. All right. So if you don't want to pay anything, I'm still going to make sure at least you get like a Smartie candy. You know what I mean? All right? Okay. But you won't get the replays. You got to be there every day. You won't be able to come into the VIP. But hey, I'm going to hook everybody up. Is that cool?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you, Greg. We are thinking about you and everyone around you, that you guys are safe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
keep me posted on everything, and we will see you next week. Thank you guys that popped on live. I hope you guys all learned something. Before we leave, in the chat, write at least one thing that you learned or that you're gonna apply today, tomorrow, hopefully today or tomorrow. Apply it sooner rather than later. So if you guys can put one thing in, that will be great. So we got focus, the F word, focus, applying awareness in alchemy, growing into consultant role, focus, the pyramid and upfront teaching, EIP. Awesome. Yay. Thanks, Greg, for all sharing all that knowledge. So.
Yep. Awesome. You guys are very welcome. Kara, you have the link already, so they can have that link. And anyone that just wants in for free, put like a thing in your group and then just put like everybody can comment free, or just take the link and they automatically get upgraded. Is that cool? All right. If you need anything, just text me and send me that picture. I'm going to put this on Instagram and I'll tag you.
I will.
All right. Okay. All right. All right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate you all. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.